Welcome. My name is Stephanie Bales, and I am the President and Executive Director of the Cade Museum for Creativity and Invention in Gainesville, Florida. I am thrilled that you chose to spend your New Year's Eve here with us, and I'm especially excited that we get to usher in 2021 together. Our vision at the Cade Museum is to spread an inventive mindset around the world, cultivating creativity, innovation, and the courage to meet obstacles and invent. Here at the Cade Museum, we offer our community access to world-class exhibits, really engaging hands-on STEAM experiences, both online at Cade at Home or here in the museum. We offer museum access to low-income families. We also provide community outreach in low-income areas, and we offer everyone, regardless of circumstance, the opportunity to meet world-class inventors, entrepreneurs, and visionaries. The Cade Museum partners with many community institutions, including the YMCA, PACE for Girls, and the Alachua County School Systems, Gainesville Housing Authority, serving as a bridge to the innovation economy by teaching science through the lens of invention. We can only do this work through the support of individuals like you. The Cade Museum is a nonprofit organization, and we rely on your support via memberships and donations and even purchases in our gift shop. I encourage you to make one final donation at the end of the year by supporting the Cade Museum and helping us continue our work in 2021. Thank you and have a great evening.
On New Year's Eve, everything seems possible. So join us as we spark wonder and invent possible at the Cade Museum with special activities we've designed just for you. So join us and let's get started. I love to teach about the water cycle. I mean, evaporation, condensation, precipitation. That's how we learn this when we're little, pre-K. Everybody knows that rain happens. And if you live in Florida, well, it happens almost every day, it seems. But then it mysteriously just stops and the puddles disappear. They don't really disappear. Remember, it's not magic, it's science. And it's all about evaporation, condensation, precipitation. It's New Year's Eve. And I want to make it rainbow rain inside the house. Oh, I heard somebody say, but my mom doesn't want to have a mess. My dad doesn't like messes. Grandma said no. How about if we contain our rainstorms right in these jars at the table with their help and permission, of course. You're going to need only a few things. Recycle container is great. If you don't have clear jars in your recycling container that are clean with the labels taken off, tall water glasses can work too, or clear plastic cups, whatever you happen to have at your disposal. I had some jars and I just washed them out and took the labels off. I have 3 of them. We're gonna have a big storm. I want lots of color. I have some shaving cream. The most inexpensive will work the best. You don't need expensive shaving cream. Food coloring. Everybody seems to have it during the holidays because with all that baking and frosting, you probably were using this in your kitchen. Some water and a cleanup rag. I have a little glitter too, a little glitter. And ask permission with your grown-ups. I want to make it festive rain because it's New Year's Eve. I mean, We came through 2020 and 2021 is going to be very exciting. So let's be festive. Okay. First things first, water. Sink water will do just fine. And if your parents want you to take this outside, then take it outside and do it. It's okay. Shaving cream, always shake well before dispensing. Now, let's say that these are our clouds, big fluffy clouds floating over Florida. But they have taken up those big water puddles through evaporation, and those clouds are getting very, very heavy. And when they get heavy, I heard a bunch of you say, but then they get dark. Yes, the clouds get very dark and gray, and then they have so much moisture, they can't hold it anymore. You are so smart. I just heard everybody say, and then it rains. Yes. So we have evaporation, condensation. What was that? Precipitation. Do it with me. Are you ready? Evaporation, condensation, precipitation. Absolutely. Now, precipitation doesn't just come in rain. Well, no. Oh, I heard you say snow, sleet, hail. You guys are so smart. Now, I want to make it very colorful. And I'm going to take my food coloring and I'm just going to let it seep through the clouds like rain. Now, if I put blue and red together, what color should my rain be? Now, if you watch it, it's going to start to come right out of the bottom. Let's see. I'm going to remove some of this off. Do you see it? Do you see the rain coming down? Let's see. I have to be super careful with this glitter, they told me. If you just put a pinch inside, as the shaving cream starts to lose its soapy lather and the bubbles, the glitter will fall between and through into the water, and it'll look like sparkling raindrops. Now, oh, that's all it took. Just a little bit more. Oh, it's red and blue make what color? Purple, exactly. So we should have a dark purple storm going on. Now, here's the thing. When you're done, you can rinse these out in your sinks, right down your drain, fill them up with water again, and let the kids try again. And maybe have different color combinations. See what colors perhaps go through the fastest, which ones are slower to go through. And with a little luck, you'll have some pretty magnificent New Year's Eve rain that is in different colors. I love New Year's. Music, fireworks, family, friends. Music. I love to make my own percussion, my own instruments. Don't you? I see some of you raising your hand out there. Absolutely. And with your grown-ups' permission and a little bit of their help, you can make your own jam band right at your house in honor of 2021. Do you know why we celebrate New Year's with loud noise? Well, there's a story to that. And making loud noises and banging on pots and pans on New Year's Eve at the stroke of midnight ushers in the new year, and the loud noises drive out anything bad from the year before. It gets rid of all the negative things and welcomes the new year. I think that's kind of an interesting concept. And that, my friends, is why in many countries at the stroke of midnight, children and adults alike grab pots and pans and bang them together with spoons and make noises, joyful noises, at the stroke of midnight on New Year's Eve. This is a little more quiet, and the parents will like this. And it takes things that you have laying around your house. We're gonna make some drums, and we're gonna make a type of xylophone with water and recycled glass. After the last experiment we did together, it won't be as messy. So let's start with the drums. Very, very easy. I went to my recycling container. Ask your grown-ups for permission. And I have some lids of all different sizes. From jars. Now, save those jars to the side. You're gonna need those too. And I went in my junk drawer and I have some balloons. Now, this is where your grown-ups can help you. You're gonna need to slice off the bottom of the balloon. And you might need your grown-ups help a little bit. This one I cut a little bit too short. Let's try one more. Thank goodness I had a lot of balloons in my junk drawer. Do you have a junk drawer at home? Junk drawers can be great treasure troves when you're looking to create that special invention. Now, the more lids you have in different sizes, the more different sounds, pitches you can make. Now, I'm going to make mine in different colors because it's a little more festive. And after all, what's tonight? New Year's Eve. We want to be festive. I also found this in the recycling bin. I'm just going to try it and see what happens. There we go. And I'm going to put these to the side. I've got a very good assortment, I think. Now, I need something to strike. This isn't gonna, doesn't really do much, right? Pencils. Rubber erasers. Now, if you don't have rubber erasers, you can still use. But I want to put these on. Why? The sound does not escape underneath, and we need to have that open more. That's okay. Let's try it like that. Uh-oh. Now, we are engineers here for sure. And being engineers means we just keep trying. It's important. No, that's not going to work. Let's try this. Never give up. Did anybody ever tell you never give up? There are days you want to give up. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. Sometimes when you're doing science in the lab and you're trying to get an experiment to work and it just doesn't want to work. Well, sometimes you just have to step away for a few minutes, take a few deep breaths, go back in, tackle it. Never give up. Dr. Cade didn't give up. He kept inventing a lot. This balloon doesn't want to cooperate. I'm going to try this one. There we go. Shall we try this? That jar and that balloon, I wonder if I put the balloon over the top of the jar, would I be able to make some music? Doesn't work as well. And it's not real noisy. And your parents might like this one. But remember, the bigger the lids, the smaller the lids, get a great assortment. But these glass jars definitely need to be in my New Year's Eve jam band. And I went into the recycling jar bin and got permission, washed them out, took the labels off. Let's try this. Asked my grown-up for a spoon. Oh, that was interesting. I'm going to try that in this jar. Now it's empty. Not for long. Now, what would happen if I had different jars filled at different levels? Do you think I might have different tones, different pitches? Should we see? Okay. I'm not done tuning this yet. Okay, ready. But I have a bigger spoon. Can you make your own song? I like New Year's, that's for sure. Get your jam band together. Somebody can play the drums. Somebody can play the glass xylophones, as I like to call them. Just like that. You can have a jam band right in your kitchen, but ask your grown-ups for permission. and make a loud, joyous noise to welcome in 2021 and get rid of 2020. I want to share with you for New Year's Eve 4 of our top favorite science experiments. These are things you should never do at home, but if you want to do them, maybe you need to come to camp or classes or see us at the lab. Some of the ingredients are very top secret and we don't want to see you try them at home. But in a lab done by professionals, it's a safe way to have a little fun in the lab as you're learning, because there's always learning going on in the lab. This first experiment is something, well, I think you've seen it before if you've ever been to some classes, and it's called the exploding egg. Just the word exploding tells you it's going to be fun. You're going to need some chicken eggs. I went to the grocery store and oh, this isn't really how I bought them because, well, they're kind of like a water balloon. We took a chicken egg, these were large, and we soaked them in vinegar for a few days in the fridge. And you can see the shell has worn off and it's toughened up the membrane, but everything inside is very liquid and it could go splat. And we don't want that, well, yet. The object, my friends, are you ready, is to take this egg, empty flask. I want to put this egg into the bottom of the flask. Oh, I hear you saying, but Patty, that can't work. Well, if I hit it like this, yes, it will go all over. And I don't want that in the lab. But I want to make it go whoosh, right into the beaker. That was a science word. Whoosh. Try it. It's okay. Now, I need heat. Yeah, something hot in the bottom. Because you see, I need to have greater pressure out here than in the flask. And then that egg, scientifically speaking, should go down into the Erlenmeyer flask with little or no resistance whatsoever. And don't forget your safety goggles. Always have a pair around when you're doing science. Ready? All right, safety goggles on, lighter, material to start a flame in the bottom of my flask, and of course, my wobbly egg. Wobbly is a science word for today. Are you ready? Keep your eye on the egg. Did you get that? You want to see that again? Oh, I heard a couple people say, do it again, do it again. I can hear that. Well, it's your lucky day. We have another egg. Soaked it in vinegar. The shell is worn off. Should we give it the wobble test? It is wobbly, indeed. Nope, can't do that. So again, remember, safety goggles on. Don't do this at home. Come to the lab. Are you ready? That was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, but I've got something even better to show you. You know what we call this? A Cade omelet. Don't eat that either. Now, how many of you have ever seen a hot air balloon? I hear, oh, you've You've seen one and you've seen one. Yeah, they're really cool because they use fire to heat the air, and then the air expands, the molecules expand. And, well, I'm afraid of heights. I know, I want to go in a hot air balloon, but I'm afraid of heights. But I found the next best thing we can do with a tea bag. Now, my friends, what was the rule? Don't do this at home. Come to the lab, right? Now, grown-ups, there is only one brand of tea this works with. And you got to come to the lab to let us tell you. All right, are you ready? Now, I'm going to start the bag on fire, a little bit at the top. It's going to burn down. And by the way, our tables are heat resistant in the lab. Don't ever do this at home, okay? This is why we say, come to the lab. So as the fire begins to burn the paper, the hot air, it's just going to get warmer. And those hot air molecules inside that tube of paper, what are they going to do? Expand. I heard you yell expand. Yes, and they're going to bump out and into each other. And then something fabulous is going to happen. Are you ready? All right, what was the rule again? Don't do this at home. You got it. And there it goes. Oh, you needed to see that again. You're supposed to be paying attention. Yeah. Lucky for you, I have another tea bag too. 2 eggs, 2 tea bags. Are you ready to see this again? Okay. It's gonna move fast. Gotta keep your eye on the tea bag. And what was the rule? That's right, don't do this at home. Do it in the lab with us. Give it the old magician scientist. Now, you know that hot air rises, cold air tends to sink. You know the science behind this. But if you ever have a friend see this with you, they may think it's magic, but you can assuredly tell them it's science. Now, I have something else. I'm gonna make a wish. I can't tell you what the wish is. I have some matter. Is this a solid, a liquid, or a gas? Well, it's taking the shape of its container. Therefore, I'm gonna go and tell you this is, I just heard you say this, a liquid. Yes, it is a liquid. And if I do this, again, it is a liquid. It's taking the shape of its container. I heard somebody say, and it's wet. It is very wet. But there is an ingredient that I placed in this water that I got from our tap in the lab, our faucet. So it is, you believe me, yep. Now hold on a second. I have some liquid in here too. Ooh, it's very thick. It's kind of non-Newtonian, we would call that. It's a little thicker, kind of like honey or syrup. All right. So I'm going to add this liquid into this liquid. What do you think's going to happen? Oh, I heard somebody say it's just going to dissolve. Somebody else said it's going to evaporate. Ah, no, don't drink this or eat this. This is a science experiment in the lab. But if I hold it like this, I go like this. Okay. Something amazing is going to happen. Stick my finger in there and see if it's done. Oh yeah, it's done. Why? Whoa! It's really done. What is is this, you ask? Well, it's a giant clear worm. No, actually, it's sodium alginate. And we cross-linked using a solution that we applied the alginate into. And it's turned into a polymer of sorts. Isn't this fun? It does look like magic, but it's not. It's science. Oh, somebody just asked, well, yeah, well, it's clear. You don't want clear, you want it to be, how about glow in the dark? We can make this even glow in the dark. I'm so excited. And I'm glad you're here. Secret ingredient. Remember, still liquid, hasn't changed, but I added a solid to it in the form of a powder. Ready? Here they are, but guess what? They glow in the dark. Glowing worms, my friends, all made possible through science. So, we made them glow in the dark, the alginate worms, but it only took one additional ingredient just to alter our formula in the lab. And it absorbs the photons and emits a glow. So there's a lot you can do with science, and I saved the best for last. I have it right in front of me. Water. Yes, it is a liquid. Very good. We've used liquids, we've used non-Newtonian fluids, all sorts of things we learned about heat and molecules. But what I want to do is send us off into 2021 with a burst, well, of energy. And with that, I have some water and I have some soap. Okay, remember the rules. Don't do this at home. Do it at the lab, right? If a little is going to be good, I'm going to add a little more. I mean, after all, it is New Year's, and we're ready for 2021, aren't we? I'm going to gently stir the soap. Now I'm making a solution. Just soap water, but now there's a secret ingredient. You see, I need to make bubbles in here that are going to, well, burn and set on fire and be very celebratory. Are you ready? But I can't show you the secret thing. You got to come to the lab. Soap bubbles. How many of us play with soap bubbles? But we have a very special type of bubble for 2021. Safety goggles, always a must in the lab when using fire. Remember the rule, don't do this at home. Come to the lab and we'll share it with you. My friends, welcome to 2021 and goodbye 2020. And I loved having you again in the Cade Creativity Lab. So come and visit us at the Cade Museum for Creativity and Invention in Gainesville, Florida. Now, this year has been a little different, and sometimes we just can't go out and watch fireworks. But I have a way how to make a light show right in your house, on your ceilings, on your walls. I just heard somebody say, but my mom doesn't like messes. It's okay. There is no mess. And best of all, I will almost bet you that your parents or grown-ups will have so much fun watching you that they're going to want to make one too. The more the merrier, I say. And you will be able to do this with simple things you have around the house. Recycling. Always ask permission before going into the recycling bin for your safety and, of course, out of respect for your grown-ups. I am looking for a clear plastic. I have some from some packaging, and we all know during the holidays, there was a lot of packaging, I'm sure, in many people's houses. Grown-ups are also great for wielding big scissors because sometimes you need a heavier scissor to cut your plastic. The materials you're going to need with your plastic, your recycled, are colorful cellophane. Now, this could be from any packaging that you received, or if you don't have cellophane, dry erase markers will work as well. You will also need a glue stick and flashlights. LEDs work the best. Flashlight safety, never shine it in anyone's eyes or your eyes. We will be using it to illuminate our light show on the wall or ceiling. First of all, I cut some pieces of packaged recycling material. I'm going to clean up the edges just a little bit. And remember, if it doesn't look pretty, but it works, guess what, guys? It works. You can always go back later to clean up the edges as well. Don't aim for perfection. We're going to have fun tonight, and it'll be illuminating. I've selected some green, some red, and some blue cellophane, and I'm going to put an ample amount of glue on my recycled clear plastic. Now, you can also use a clear or a white school glue out of a bottle as well, okay? I'm cutting my cellophane into different size pieces randomly. It's kind of fun. Like making a little bit of New Year's confetti. And I'm going to layer them all over my piece of plastic. Now, if one is sitting on top of the other a wee bit, that's okay too. Besides, if I put red and blue together, what color will it make? Anyone? Oh, I hear everybody out there, purple. You guys are so smart. Now, somebody out there said, you know, I always wonder about purple glue. Well, I've had parents ask me this too, and we call this an indicator, which means when young children are learning how to glue projects and place glue on paper to stick things to it, it has a little purple tint. It will dry clear, but it helps the child, the young learner, understand where they've placed glue, perhaps where they need to add a little bit more or less. And it's a great teaching tool that's been around for about 20 years. And I highly recommend it as an educator. All right, I think we are almost done here. I'm so excited. I love watching fireworks. Have you ever been to a fireworks show? I was when I was little, and it was so loud, the noise, but it was really exciting, and I will never forget that. And my grown-up, my dad, put me on top of his shoulders so I could see over everybody in the audience. But sometimes, if you can't get to a fireworks show, you have to make your own. And this is the safest way we can do this right in our own home. All right, my friends, I'm gonna trim the edges a wee bit. Doot, doot, doot. And here I have it. Now it's ready for the light. Are you ready? Flashlight. And what don't we do with a flashlight? Good. We never shine it in our eyes or in our friends' eyes. Absolutely correct with that answer. I love that you guys are listening too. Safety is very important when doing anything with science. We're going to shine the light through and see what happens. Ready? Follow me. Got your lights? Now imagine having 4 or 5 of these along a wall and you can blend them into each other's. All it takes is a little cutting, a little pasting, and a nice bright flashlight. And you have your own light show. And that is what we would call, at the Cade, a very illuminating activity. We are so excited to ring in 2021. We're going to do it with physics, force and motion, and we'll even have a little Newton's third law. We are going to share with you our secrets, how to build a Cade confetti cannon.
Whoa!
Confetti. Well, yeah, your parents may not like the mess, but trust me, it's 2021 we're ringing in, and we need some glitter for our confetti. It's going to be
Oh, not in my house.
fabulous. Ah, they don't know. I have extra. Always be prepared in the lab. Silver will do too.
Not today.
Well, we're just going to have a little non-glitter fun. Gather up some tissue paper. Oh, if you don't have tissue paper, chopped up paper towel, scrap paper, cotton balls work well too. Cotton balls aren't messy like glitter, right? Okay, I think we can handle that. You're also going to need a cup. You can use a recycled cup, a solo cup, whatever type of cup you have at home. Even if you've gone out to get a coffee and you have it in your recycling bin, if it's cleaned out, it's usable. You are going to have the best time with this activity. And you're going to need a balloon. Any color will do. And some tape. I'm using some painter's tape. If you have electrician's tape, if you've got Scotch tape, even duct tape will do. Always ask your grown-ups for their assistance. And speaking of grown-ups, they are going to need to help you because we're going to need to cut out a hole about the size of a quarter on the bottom of the outside of your cup. It's a lot easier than going into the inside, so we're going to do it on the outside, okay? With that, you're going to need a scissor, or if your parents have a box cutter, they also could use a box cutter. I'm going to make a little X across the bottom. And I'm going to take my scissor and I'm just going to cut out about 25 millimeter, like a quarter. That looks about right. It doesn't have to be really neat. It doesn't have to look pretty, because after all, if it works, that's what counts. I'm going to go with green. I think green is kind of festive. I'm going to take my end and I'm going to tie a knot. Oh, parent alert, this is where your grown-ups come in handy too. These are hard to tie when you're younger. Now, the top part of the balloon, we're gonna give it a little haircut, just like that. Okay. Now I want to secure this with a bit of tape. Sometimes having an extra set of hands, like a friend or a grandparent or a parent or an older sibling, can also be of a great value when you're trying to create Now, decorating your air confetti cannon is up to you. You can use markers, stickers. You can even glue things on whatever your grown-ups have around for you. Got my confetti. I just chopped it up. And there you go. How did that work, you're asking? Well, let's try it again. You know, this would be much cooler if we had glitter, but I'm okay with it. How does this work? Well, it's Newton's third law. For every action is an equal opposite reaction. So while I'm pulling this back, it's gonna go forward, but something magical, no, it's not magic, it's science, is gonna happen inside. See, there's air inside. And those air molecules are just kind of sitting there, and we're gonna disturb them a little bit. And we're gonna force them out. Now, what I like to do with this is if you can make two of them, and you've got a table like this, and you got a cotton ball, you can play cotton ball hockey right at your kitchen table. And I don't think your parents might mind, just ask them. A cotton ball is pretty delicate, and if you have a person to play with, you can see who can get that cotton ball across the finish line of their opponent's side. Very easy to do, and we like to call these Cade confetti cannons, but you can give it your own name. Using a little physics, a little science, makes great fun. Thank you for joining us for Spark Wonder tonight. For more activities, come to the Cade Museum on a visit or check out our website. And Happy New Year!
Please join me in celebrating our first 2020 Spark Wonder Award. This award is offered to two members in our community that we believe serve as inspirations to others. Please congratulate Carly Mickle with the Alachua County School System and Pam Davis with the Gainesville Housing Authority. We are honored to be partners with them in all that they do, and we believe they spark wonder, invent possible.